Bitcoin predictions for the new moon in Pisces on March 10th. This is based on the Bitcoin astrology. So I am looking at what's happening astrologically on the new moon on March 10th. And then I'm applying that to the Bitcoin birth chart based on the Genesis block of Bitcoin back in January 2009 when Bitcoin was born. And this is not financial or investment advice. Welcome, I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. My mission is to help you succeed in arguably the greatest wealth building opportunity of our lifetime to create a better world. Because what's the point of making lots of money if we're not going to do good with it? So we have massive liquidations. Let's look at the charts. Today, well, this morning, this happened in my sleep. Unfortunately, Bitcoin always manages to do this. It manages to always throw us off when we're sleeping or when we least expect it. So we got some massive liquidations here. I mean, look at this. We got this dump, and let's look at the percentage. This is wow, that's a 14% dump here. And one thing that's interesting is we look at the liquidation. So this is massive liquidations, which means people on the trading markets, they can go long, meaning they can set a buy order to basically bet that Bitcoin's going to go up. And a lot of people must have done that when Bitcoin just reached the all-time high. So Bitcoin just reached an all-time high last night, right here on this wick here, all the way up to 69,296. And I think what happened was everybody thought that Bitcoin was going to shoot past the all-time high and continue going up. And so what people did is they set buy orders to basically bet that Bitcoin was going to go up. And what happened was the markets dumped after that. So what happens when people leverage trade is they lose all their money. If Bitcoin dumps and they went long, that's not good for them. All their money can get liquidated. And then that just makes the price go that much lower. So liquidations probably happen around this moment here, and then markets just tanked. The good news is that we are now heading up. Let's look at the hourly chart. And ever since we dumped, we got, this is very interesting actually. So you see, so we got these dumpages here, and then you look at the volume down here on the bottom, these bars. We got high volume going down, but then really good news is we're getting higher volume going upwards. And so if we continue to head upwards, if we continue to create higher lows, we've gone up 8% about there. And let's look at the minute chart. This is interesting. And so there's that massive liquidations there, just a sharp downward movement there. And ever since then, it looks like we're doing pretty well. We're creating higher lows here. You can see right here. Yep, we're continuing to move upwards, creating higher lows. So that's very positive. We want to continue to see these higher lows forming. And so there's a reason that this is actually positive. And the reason for that is that Bitcoin has gone off on a tear here. I mean, it's been going up like crazy really ever since October. We've been just heading up. But after the Bitcoin ETF correction here, ever since January 23rd, we've been just going parabolic. And typically in history, this is not sustainable. Bitcoin has to have some corrections, and we'll look a bit back in history for this. I'm going to go back into the history books. I'm going to go all the way back to a nice little date I found here that it did something very similar to what we're seeing today. And so that we can look through the history books and see what happened the last time this occurred was right here, November 26. And if we look at this closely, we see that there was a big drop here. 16% drop, almost the same as what we're seeing today. We saw a 14% drop today. But then what happened? We continued to move up from that point. We just created higher low, higher low, higher low. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And we just kept moving up, and we did see another correction. And this, honestly, this could be like the last great buying opportunity. If we see this again in a few weeks, and we could potentially see this with the eclipses coming up here in April, we could see, actually, yeah, this looks really pretty close to what I would guess would happen, especially looking at the astrology in April. And so we're probably gonna see something like this. This is my best guess here, where we're continuing to move up. We definitely want to see this. We want to continue to move up like we're seeing there. And then in the April eclipses, we could see another final correction. But still, if you look closely, that this low is down there, and we create a higher low. So the market still, we're moving upwards. And so if we continue to march up from where we are today, we could see a final correction. Let's see what is the time span here? If we look at the amount of time from here to the last dip, that's only 15 days. So if we go to where we are today, we could have 15 more days after this dump. And so we go 15. And so we could see something like this where we march upwards, and then we have another final dump here around March 20th before we head back up. So that looks good to me. That looks quite realistic. If we look at the weekly chart here, you see we're still heading upwards. This is a green candle right now, not a red candle. So that is looking bullish. That's looking very healthy here. It's just a wick that went down, but then the bar is continuing to go upwards here, which is good. We definitely want to see that. We're heading into the next week. So right after the new moon, this is very interesting. We're going to create a new weekly candle. And as you can see that this, what I drew here was that likely we're probably going up before another last correction. And this actually lines up very, very well with the astrology. Typically when we hit a new moon, we hit a peak and then a dump. And then towards the end of the month, we're going to head into the lunar eclipse. And typically that can mark a low and then a pump after that. So this lines up very well, where we're creating, we're going up, we're doing one final dump, and then we're heading back up again. One thing I also like to do is look at the altcoins. Now this is the total 3, which is the total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's just the altcoins. And if we draw a Fibonacci 50% line from the peak to the bottom of this correction here, we see that we're hanging out right at this 50% level, which is quite healthy. And we want to continue with the altcoins. We want to continue seeing them making higher lows, higher lows. Let's look at this chart. Yeah, so we're creating higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and we're just continuing to march upwards. We want to continue to see this. Now, it is a definite possibility that we could, as this is what we saw back in November, actually what happened with the altcoins back in November of 2020 when Bitcoin dumped back then, was we saw the altcoins march up with Bitcoin again before taking one last dump and then a final move upwards, just like I was talking about before with Bitcoin. Now for the March 10th new moon astrology for 2024, we have the sun and moon sextile Uranus. This is a positive aspect typically for crypto because Uranus is the planet of technology, which also includes crypto. We have Venus in Aquarius, which is a small positive. So far, Venus in Aquarius for the last couple weeks has been extremely positive for crypto, for Bitcoin this time around. It's not every single time, but this time around we've literally gotten the Bitcoin all-time high. So Venus is still in Aquarius during this new moon. So that's good news because If there is a dump, it's probably going to be pretty small because we're still getting a few positive aspects here, including the Mercury sextile Pluto, which is a little bit positive. But then we have the sun, this new moon in Pisces with Saturn and Neptune. This is just kind of a general note here that the sun and moon is now joining Saturn and Neptune. Typically, with this energy, we see a big shift, lessons in reality and limitation. I mean, literally, we got the liquidations today. We got a massive Bitcoin dump. So everybody's getting a little lesson or maybe a big lesson in reality if they were going long on Bitcoin at the exact wrong time here. And so a lot of people are hopefully picking themselves back up and recovering from this massive liquidation. We also have Mars square Uranus. That is negative. So we could definitely see a dump around this new moon, and we'll see how big it is. It's probably not going to be as big as the liquidations that we saw today, which is good news. It's good that we saw this healthy market correction so that we can continue to march our way upwards. And Mercury is conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. That's a little negative there. And Mercury is the planet of trading and markets, and it's not happy with Neptune. And then we have Jupiter sextile Saturn leaving 1 degree, so that's a little bit negative. Jupiter sextile Saturn has been in effect the last few months, and markets have been loving it. And once it starts to head out from there, it could be a little bit negative for the macro. And we also have specifically the Bitcoin astrology for the new moon. These are the transits of the Bitcoin chart that are hitting with this new moon here. So we have the new moon in Pisces opposing the Bitcoin Saturn on March 11th. So this is a bit negative there. So like I was saying, we could continue to get another little dump. And we have Jupiter trying the Bitcoin sun, but that's positive. So we have these very positive aspects that are potentially going to hold Bitcoin up, and we're not going to see very much of a correction here. We have Uranus sextile the Bitcoin Uranus still in orb, and this has been an orb for the last couple months, ever since Bitcoin's just been going off on a tear. This has been extremely positive for Bitcoin and crypto. We have Uranus trine the Bitcoin Saturn in orb, which is also a minor positive. So things are going to get held up by these positive aspects is what I'm seeing here. And now we have the quantum alignment session announcement. So I am still giving 90-minute private one-on-one sessions. I just activated the coupon code. You can check it out in the description box below. You type in the coupon code on the checkout page and you get a special deal. So what you get with this private session one-on-one with me is I am going to look specifically at your natal birth chart, and I'm going to look specifically at aspects with Uranus and Aquarius and Mercury and all these things that apply directly to your natural skills and talents with investing, with crypto specifically, and with trading. And I'm going to help you identify specific things that I'm seeing in your chart, specific areas where it shows that maybe you should be more cautious with your crypto, or maybe you should be more diversified, but specifically helping you create a rock solid crypto strategy, a long-term strategy based on, I don't know anyone else in the world that's doing this, but it's literally based on your astrology, the personality and the unique being that you are. So included with this is bonus number 1. This is super high value, Bitcoin astrology month by month analysis for the entirety of the year 2024. So I'm going to literally walk you through what I'm seeing with the Bitcoin astrology. So far, the last year and a half have been 90% accurate. So you can take advantage of this accuracy. I'm going to walk you through what I'm seeing with the Bitcoin astrology so that you can prepare. You can prepare your strategy specifically when it's good times for you to make specific decisions. Whether you want to sell or buy, I can help you, guide you to the right decision for you. So bonus number 2 is a basic profit-taking strategy. How many of you would have liked to take profits on the peak of the 2021 bull run? Because most people lost most of their money. All right, guys, but we want to make money. We want to create prosperity in this bull run. We don't want to lose like we did last time. So definitely take advantage of this so that you can win in this bull run. Bonus number 3, tokenized precious metals opportunity. So if you're into precious metals, I have an amazing opportunity where you can invest in a specific crypto. I actually do not get a commission on this. This is just an opportunity that I have invested in personally, and I would love to give you that opportunity as well if you decide to do so. Now, I have one more spot available for just $2.97. Type that in the coupon code box below. You type in on the checkout page, to the moon at the very bottom of the page, you type in that coupon code, you get that deal. And then after that, the price goes up to $3.97. There's 6 more spots available with that. Bitcoin predictions, now that you've been waiting all the way to the end of this video, we're definitely going to be seeing, it looks like we're seeing volatility. We're seeing a little bit of clouds in the sky this month. We've already seen massive liquidations today. We dropped 14%. That's good news. That means another correction this month is probably not going to be as deep. It's probably going to be a pretty shallow correction. Things in the astrology, we've still seen some positive aspects. Things could get held up fairly well unless we see a black swan event or some major dump in the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones. So we'll probably most likely see a small correction with Bitcoin in mid-March. That's what I'm seeing. And then we're likely going to be heading up afterwards. And then towards the end of the month, things are looking pretty good. And so I'm going to come out with more videos on what I'm seeing with the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. We're going to see fireworks at the end of this month. At the end of this month, heading into April, where we get that massive solar eclipse. Like and share this video if you want to see more videos about Bitcoin, astrology, talking about crypto and the markets. Definitely share this with a friend or family member who could benefit. And one of the #1 things you can do with this channel, as I'm giving out all these free videos, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified of future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste. Namasko.